Hello everyone. Different setup this time. We're going with the tiny mic because I am just in the mood to. And I feel like it's a little continuity for us considering what we're talking about when we are revisiting Banban. In the past, I've done 2 videos on Garden of Banban. There was the rework and reimagining, which is one video. And that's the one that a lot of people who are new to this channel are coming in from. So hi, welcome to the channel. I talk about more than just Banban, but for this video, I am revisiting it. And the other video was my first time breaking down Banban, where I talked about my thoughts on the first, I think it was 2 or 3 games. Now, we are almost at game 8 as of recording this. The teaser trailer has been released. I give the Euphoric Brothers credit for not using the same Bioshock-esque kind of music that they've been using, the same violin, because that theme worked for the first, small handful of games, and I feel like now we've lost that sort of inspiration a while ago. So let's revisit Banban, talk about the things that have changed, because as with the reimagining and my first Breaking Down Banban video, well, I may be more of a writer. At the time of my first 2 videos, I didn't work on games, but I am currently entering the game dev side of things. I am now working on games, not a Banban game, although I am working on a mascot game based on my reimagining and just reworking that for an entirely new game. But that's a whole different thing. I'm also working on a platformer, testing out different platforms at the moment, playing around with PowerPoint games, because PowerPoint is a surprisingly fun game platform, even though it's technically not meant for games, but I have a game dev channel for that. So let's talk about Banban. Now, I recently rewatched my initial Breaking Down Banban video, just to see what points I had, what thoughts I had at the time, and a lot of those are still the same. A lot of them are very much still the same. Now, the Banban games, a lot of people rip on them. They are certainly games. That is one thing I will constantly say. They are certainly games. You can play them. And honestly, I do think they have improved gameplay-wise. I do. Granted, they still occasionally have issues when it comes to color-themed puzzles because they're not really colorblind friendly, and there was one in, I think it was 7? Oh, wait, no, not 7, it was 6. With the chairs. I'm not typically colorblind, but I do have issues with cooler tones, so a lot of blues blend together for me. A little ironic given how colorful my room is and how colorful my projects tend to be. I have worked with color majority of my life. I initially went into college with a studio art major. I have worked with color for a while, but even I struggled to see the difference between some of the blue tones on the chair puzzle in Game 6. So I can tell they still haven't really worked on distinguishing color differences because it's an easy fix, but yeah. Now, let's talk about the points I still agree with myself on. The points I agree with myself on are, 1, we need to just ditch the opening text of, for a parent looking for their lost child, time is a delicate matter. It's not. I don't even know if we have a child anymore. I've seen at least 1 or 2 supposed notes from our supposed child in the recent games, and I don't believe that there are any children left in the facility at all, if you can even call it a facility. I 100% agree with what I said in the original Breaking Down Banban video, and really, really believe it now, especially going into Game 8 as of recording this, because, again, the teaser trailer just dropped. That text is only there to serve as a reminder. It's a reminder of why we, the player, are still there. Time does not feel like it's of a delicate matter. There is nothing in the storyline that makes me feel like time is a delicate matter when it comes to the character we're playing being a parent looking for their child. That is no longer plot. At least that's how it feels. That is no longer even remotely connected to the plot. I said in my reimagining video and in my initial Breaking Down Banban video that they ditched that plot. They ditched that plot to focus on their, I guess, mad scientist lab experiment thing. The experiment gone wrong plot. They've focused on that. I feel like at this point, they should just stop with that intro because it does nothing. The second thing, too many characters. They're still introducing new characters with every chapter, every game. There's a reason people still don't remember the chameleon, turtle, Kamataki, and Tamataki. Every time I see that character be brought in for even a brief moment, people are just like, oh, that thing. You know, people don't remember the characters' names. The only reason I remember Sir Dadadoo's name is because it's fun to say. I don't even remember the name of the pink dude in the new game with all like the surgeon things or the tools. I don't even remember his name. There are too many characters. And now we're being introduced to a new Banban that's not Banban, has a very kind of luchador style design going on with the face. Blue Banban is becoming too much to process, too much to follow. And three is something that I mentioned as more of a side thought in my Breaking Down Banban video, but that's the suspension of disbelief basically being thrown out the window at this point. I don't believe it's part of the same facility at all at this point. They have an underground city, apparently. I really don't believe this is all part of the same facility at all. I don't believe all of these places are connected, because they don't feel connected. But let's move on to the new thoughts. Going back to what I said about ditching the intro text of for a parent looking for the lost child, time is a delicate matter. The actual story we are following now, I am so lost. As with the characters and the long list of new characters that are constantly being introduced, I am lost in the story. Not to mention, anytime Stinger Flynn comes in and gives exposition, like, I get it, he's supposed to be a big character. Giant characters are supposed to talk slower because they are literally giant, but every time he talks, I check out. I just mentally stop paying attention. And I'm usually someone who always pays attention to every detail. I was the person that was usually too in-depth on notes back in school. And I just can't pay attention to any time Stinger Flynn talks. And then the whole thing with the beach and the hallucinations. Like, I'm getting the vibe that the beach is supposed to be a metaphor for freedom. And at the same time, then there's the whole thing about how our character is apparently to blame. Like, I don't know, is that supposed to be like a generalization of just like humans are to blame for what's going on? And they just see us as another worker? Or, but then again, Stinger Flynn knows we have a child and we're looking for them. And he told us to give up. So he's the main one blaming us for what's going on in these hallucinations and every time we interact with him. Like, how are we to blame? We don't even know how we got the lowdown on anything even going wrong with the kindergarten to begin with. Who told us something happened? Did our kid call us? I don't know. I still don't know. And again, I still don't believe there are kids left at all. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Banban was the one writing the letters all along. Just luring us in. Please tell me I'm wrong on that one. This is not a game theory video. Please tell me that's not an actual theory. Oh no. There's gonna be a game theory video talking about something like that, isn't there? Okay. But even with that whole thing aside, with Stinger Flynn's thing aside, then there's the whole thing with Sir Dadadoo, Queen Bouncilia, Bitter Giggle, and all of that. Like, what's even happening? What is a main plot? Is there a main driving plot? I am so confused. I'm someone who loves story-driven games. And I feel like we can't decide on one story for this game. Which is it? Are we trying to aim for freedom? Or are we dealing with just mad science experiments, fully going rogue, then having little boring factions, and just... I am so lost. I don't even know. Although going back to the plot... When I say going back to the plot, I've been talking about the plot, but like going back to the lost child part of the plot, there's still technically holding on to that with the letters that we're still finding. But then again, still not giving us any like visual proof aside from those letters in game that any child has been in any of these areas. So again, I hate for this to turn into a game theory video. This isn't a more to the story video, but it is feeling like either they just didn't think to put anything in the environment around the letter to even hint that a child was there, or are intentionally doing that. And my theory is right that it's one of the, I guess, creatures, characters. Is there even a single child left at this point? Like, I genuinely want to know. Is that ever going to actually be brought up in the plot? I genuinely want to know.